Two new players coming in, so...
Well, that's an interesting decision.
Game short on the first leg.
Treble 16, double
Martin
14
Turner.
for the 76 in the single.
Martin, you require 76.
Was it going to be another 48? Sure is.
48. Game short on the
28
sixth
to bring
leg.
it.
Martin Turner.
3 legs apiece. So
Martin,
to
you
win the
require
match.
35.
And to stay in the race. It might be an
Game
outside chance,
shot.
but it's a chance all
And
the
the
same.
match.
And
Martin Turner.
gets his revenge on Davy Kerwin for defeat last night, and in doing so picks up his first win of the group. A decent display as well, an average of 87, not one but two unorthodox 76 checkouts, treble 16, double 14 on each occasion. They worked out for him, and he picks up the points in the opener. Coming next is a battle between two of the players tied at the top. Darren Johnson taking on Steve Brown. Okay, 15s. And the button.
Game
he pulled it
short
off.
on the
Well,
second
it's
leg. Steve
Not the
Brown.
most common way to go, but it worked out for him. 1-1.
16.
Double top.
Game
And Steve Brown
shot.
nails it.
And the match.
What a way to win
Steve
it. 116 checkout. That means that Steve Brown is as good as there in terms of Saturday night.
16.
Double top.
Game
And Steve Brown
shot.
nails it.
And the match.
What a way to win
Steve
it. 116 checkout. That means that Steve Brown is as good as there in terms of Saturday night and the finals here at the Modus Super Series. For the first time this week, he's won his first match. It wasn't pretty, but he did produce a beautiful finish at the end. That 116 to defeat Darren Johnson for the second successive night. And Steve Brown is top of the table. Looking to join him, Daryl Pilgrim, who's out for the first time. Next, he takes on Martin Turner. But he assures me it's nothing to do with dogs, that nickname.
okay. That does look good.
Game short on the first leg. Martin Turner.
Well, signed, sealed and delivered apart from the position in which the top three finished. Great finish this could be.
Game
brilliant. We
short
saw
on
a
the second leg. Daryl Pilgrim.
147 last night.
Martin, you require 34.
Well, he's got another 3 match starts here. They're missing one already, but down the bottom of the board, so
Game
tricky. But
shot.
not tricky for
And the
him this
match.
time.
Martin Turner.
So there we have it. Martin Turner gets a win against Daryl Pilgrim, which puts him on to 4 points, an average of 88, 4 from 10 on the checkouts, and a highest checkout of 104. But can't go past that 147 checkout of Pilgrim there, averaging 93.46. But it was those checkouts at the end that cost him that match, having just 2 from 13. Up next, we have Steve Brown versus Davy Kerwin.
Davey, you require 112.
Well, the purpose that Steve Brown showed at the start of this match, I get the feeling Kerwin might have to take this out, and he's going to have to do it the hard way. On the ball. Oh, in
Game
the ball. What a
short on the
rescue act
second
from
leg.
Davy Kerwin.
Davy Kerwin.
The first start went wayward, but he has salvaged a shot, and even Steve Brown shows him some respect for that one. 16 to keep his hopes alive and keep Steve Brown waiting at least a little longer. Oh dear. Well, he's been bothered there by an unidentified flying object. Will this flying object find the target?
Game.
It does.
Shot. And the
Davy
match.
Kerwin
Davy Kerwin
gets the better of Steve Brown, and there's a buzz about him now. A 4-3 success for the Scot that suddenly puts himself in the picture, joining Martin Turner on 4 points towards the bottom of the table and staying or getting just 2 behind Daryl Pilgrim and Darren Johnson, and that pair go head to head after the break.
Daryl, you require 100.
And he's prevented Johnson from having even having a single dart at a double.
And
Game.
that remains
Shot.
the case.
And the
Daryl
match.
Pilgrim
Daryl
whitewashes
Pilgrim.
Darren Johnson, whose night is turning into a nightmare. A 4-0 success for Pilgrim that sees him move back to the top of the table. And look at those numbers, an average of 103.662. Three-figure finishes in there, including the match-winning 100 and that 116 checkout. 4 out of 6 on the doubles. Not a shot at the outer ring for Darren Johnson, who has put himself in peril of falling out of the top 3. We'll find out if that happens. Martin Turner could go above him if he beats Steve Brown next. Steve Brown not
Martin,
making
you require
too much
88.
headway. Bullseye then for Turner.
Game
this
shot
time,
and the third leg.
nails it.
Martin Turner.
In the previous leg, he was nowhere near it at 36.
Martin, you require 36. Game,
But he can,
shot,
and that's a hat
and
trick
the match.
for
Martin Turner.
Well, what a turnaround this is. Because Martin lost all 4 of his matches on the opening night of this group, but has now won 3 from 3 tonight and has moved into position 3 in the Group B table. A 4-2 success over Steve Brown, who's still waiting for the win that would qualify him for finals night. But Martin Turner is now in the top 3 himself. That could change if Davy Kerwin can get the better of Pilgrim in the next game. Darrell needs a win to qualify himself.
Well, had a shot at the bullseye.
Darrell, you
just fell
require
short there.
68.
Down for 32. Double 8.
Game
And finds
shot
that
and the
one.
third leg. Darrell Pilgrim.
And I can now confirm that Darrell Pilgrim is through all the big build-up.
Darrell,
It
you
was a
require
fabulous
36.
setup to leave it, and then he gave himself the chance. But that could be as close as he comes. Double 9 for Darrell. And
Game,
Pilgrim pins
shot, and the
it. And
match.
Darrell Pilgrim
Darrell
through
Pilgrim.
to finals night himself. And in getting there, he has denied Davy Kerwin any opportunity of joining him. A 4-2 success for Pilgrim, an average just over 90 in the end. A fair few darts missed at double, it has to be said. Kerwin almost kept himself in it with that brilliant 170 attempt, but he will not be in the Saturday session. Pilgrim will be, and Darren Johnson and Martin Turner are going to play next. All could be signed and sealed in the next couple of games. That's a huge match coming up, both on 6 points in 3rd and 4th in the table.
Darren, you require 32.
Gifted this opportunity to Darren Johnson. Is this where it ends?
Game,
No friends
shot,
on the
and the
hockey.
match. Darren
And that
Johnson.
Is that Darren Johnson defeats Martin Turner, and in doing so books his place at finals night at his friend's expense. A 4-1 win for Johnson. That means he fills the field for the Saturday session here at the Super Series. It will be Darrell Pilgrim, Steve Brown and Darren Johnson qualifying from Group B. And the top 2 that I've just mentioned are going head-to-head in the very next match. Innovative route,
Game,
anything
shot,
to leave that double.
and the match.
And
Darrell Pilgrim
gets the job done. 4-2. He is the group winner. No real damage done for Steve Brown. He is also through to finals night. Not the prettiest match that the pair have played, but Pilgrim wins it 4-2. Brown, of course, though, can be leapfrogged in 2nd place, but through all the same.
Joined up on the balcony by the table topper in Group B, Darrell Pilgrim. Darrell, many congratulations. Back to finals night.
Cheers. It's always the first aim to get to the Saturday night.
Is that just like for you, I say, just try and get through as quickly as possible? What were you, first of all, thinking going into tonight? 3 players on 6 points. What was the MO?
I knew 2 out of 4 wins would guarantee me getting through. So that was the first aim.
And I suppose as well, because of your experience in this competition, how much does that help when you're in that situation where you know maybe X amount of points would be enough, this scenario might be enough?
Yeah, I feel any darts experience helps, especially down here. Any other darts you play a straight knockout, but when it's group stage, you think too much about it sometimes, and it can do you in sometimes.
What were you thinking after those first couple of fixtures this evening?
Well, I feel like I played all right in the first one. I lost it, and I thought, oh, I always make it difficult for myself. I never make it easy, but I still knew I was playing all right, so I wasn't worried, but you always think about it sometimes.
Back at finals night, and potentially on the verge of making a little bit of history in this competition, because you are successful tomorrow, you become the first player in the tournament's history to make it through to Champions Week on 3 occasions. What is it about this tournament specifically that makes you tick, Dal?
To be honest, I couldn't even tell you. I just enjoy playing. It's such a good situation playing here. But I was the first person to do 2, and now everyone keeps getting a 2, so I really want to be the first person to make 3.
Steve, it's been a long week, but you've made it through to finals night. Does that make it all worth it?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I came here to qualify for Saturday, and regardless of how I've done it. So, look forward to playing tomorrow night.
You did most of the damage last night. In fact, 3 players on 6 points. All of you have gone through, so it shows the importance of getting off to a good start in these short groups.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I just said, I fell over the line in the end, but obviously the hard work was done yesterday. I think the way the games went yesterday helped me out as well today. So it was just one of those things.
Obviously, it's always said you're someone that's involved in so many things, the JDC, the ADC. I mean, we've seen Luke Littler with that 117 average the other week. He's congratulated you tonight.
Yeah.
How good has it been just to focus on yourself as a darts player this week?
Well, I've tried my best this week to do that. So I turned off most of my social media. I've not answered any emails, so I can't wait for that next week. But I've tried just to be a dart player this week, and for 2 or 3 days it's worked. Obviously, I picked a bit of a bug today, but hopefully tomorrow it's gone by then, so it should be right.
And one last bit of business in front of an audience. Looking forward to it?
Yeah, I love playing in front of crowds. I've loved doing exhibitions and stuff, so I think that might sort of suit me tomorrow, playing in front of a crowd.
Well, congratulations. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Maybe you
Therefore, could be
require
over.
20.
As Davy Kerwin steps forward, takes aim at double 10. And
Game,
ends
shot,
his
and
stay
the match. Davy Kerwin.
at the Super Series on a high. A thumping 4-1 win over Darren Johnson. Davy Kerwin has made his impact here on his debut week at the Super Series. A 3rd place finish in Group A and a 4th place finish in Group B. Behind the man he's just beaten, Darren Johnson, who goes through with Steve Brown and Daryl Pilgrim, despite losing the final match to the departing Davy Kerwin by 4 legs to 1.
Chris, thank you very much indeed. Well, there was a little bit of drama at times, but look, we finished as we started. The 3 players at the top of the table make their way through.
I know, and there was so much that happened in the middle of that made us think that maybe that wasn't going to be the case. So, yeah, it took a long way to get to there.
Well, this is how we got to that particular point. These are the results from tonight's session. Well, Martin Turner made a real push, didn't he, on Friday? But realistically, it was the 0 wins from his first night that made pay to his chances.
Yeah, exactly. And it was all against him to be able to do it tonight. But the opportunity was there and just kind of fell short at the last hurdle with that match against Darren Johnson.
As for Darren Johnson, well, he only won 1 game in the entirety of the night. But if you're going to win one, make sure it's the important one.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly how it turned out. His match against Martin Turner was ultimately the decider as to which one of them was going to qualify through.
Well, the group victor in the end was Daryl Pilgrim, making his way back through to a Saturday night finale. I mean, saw some flashes of brilliance, a bit like this 147.
I know, he's great with at least getting a dart at a double on the big checkouts. Gives himself the opportunities to get there, has those opportunities. But what did let him down tonight was his finishing. I mean, he did win 3 out of 4 matches, but that first match that he did lose against Martin Turner, he had multiple opportunities to put those legs away, but just wasn't able to do it. So that's something that he will need to correct tomorrow for finals night.
Do you feel Daryl's still got gears to go when you consider what he can do?
Absolutely. I think that he does have another level. His scoring is, phenomenal at times, doesn't really miss anything, but it's just that finishing and being able to put it all together.
Well, this is how it all squares up then in the end as far as the table is concerned. So Daryl Pilgrim is through as the victor, 12 points to his name. 8 points was enough to make it through. The efforts of Davy Kerwin and Martin Turner insurmountable in the end. Darren Johnson making his way through to yet another Saturday night final. So that is where our full focus is going to be now. And these are the groups in play for Saturday night's finale here at the Super Series. Group 1 sees Rene Idams. He made his way through on Wednesday in Group A. He's going to be joined by Rod Grundy and Steve Brown. But have a look at Group 2. 2 weekly winners in the previous series. John Worsley and Daryl Pilgrim are in the mix.
Yeah, what a group that is. I mean, I'm saying it early here, but I think Darren Johnson's got a hard job against him to qualify through Group 2 tomorrow night, because with Worsley and Pilgrim, knowing, the experience that they have with playing here, what they've done, how they're playing, it's going to be a tough job for DJ to get through.
Me and you back on a Saturday night. It's been a while.
Oh, it has been a while. But what better place to be than here at the Modus Live Lounge?
Well, we cannot wait for you. Hope you can join us tomorrow night. 7:30, we're going to kick off. It's going to be on the YouTube channel, and then we're going to be live with Sporty Stuff TV viewers from 10 o'clock. That's going to be for the semi-finals and the final. Well, as far as Group B was concerned, well, it was Mr. P, the flying eagle, who landed to the top of the summit. We'll see you tomorrow.